Hello, Bob. You're in Fairfield, Iowa, once again. I'm Susan Kessel.
I'm Dave Neff. I'm president of the Parsons College Foundation Fund.
And I am an artist, but I'm also a co-founder of the Fairfield Arts and Convention Center. We thought maybe this was the best way to share with you about ourselves and about what's going on in Fairfield and the Arts and Convention Center and Parsons Hall with you.
Things have changed a lot since you graduated in 1967. We were on campus for a few years together. I graduated in '69, and I stayed in Fairfield and taught at Parsons until they closed and changed careers so I could stick around. It's been a fun run, and we've had a lot of excitement about our Fairfield Arts and Convention Center, Stephen Sondheim Center for the Performing Arts, and what we've been able to do with the Parsons College Alumni Hall, which we're looking forward to being able to share with you in the next few moments.
So I grew up in Fairfield, transplant from California, and I don't know if you remember the Bates Motel, but that was my family, and I grew up there. I married Patrick Kessel, whose family had the Kessel's Conoco. I am an artist, and I too have stayed in Fairfield. Am passionate about all the arts in our community, and in 1997 decided that Fairfield needed an arts and convention center. So you've seen where we are in town. We're a block north of the square, right across from the beautiful courthouse, and we'll just give you a very quick tour of the center and talk to you from Parsons Hall, where your picture's hanging.
Very good. Let's begin the tour.
So we're just going to give you a brief tour, not very long, of the Fairfield Arts and Convention Center. We're going to walk into the atrium lobby. It's a beautiful area with a beautiful floor created locally by Creative Edge.
Welcome to the center.
The Fairfield Arts and Convention Center was an idea that your former wife, Sally Neff Denny, and I had when the arts and we had no theater. We were doing productions in a livestock arena, and we also lost our art association with a museum and exhibit area. So that was what kind of set us in motion, and then all the community joined in.
One of the things that we like to share with you, Bob, is the growth of this over the last period of time. This was a vision of Susan and Sally, and the outreach has been tremendous. The funding of this, we're probably close to $8-9 million now. Close to $6 million has come from local individuals, businesses, and then there have been grants that have come in on top of that to complete it. And now this is owned by the city of Fairfield. Presently, the city and Maharishi University community have been working together in the cultural aspects of the community. And in the packet that we're going to include, we're going to talk a little bit about our art walk, the new level of high performance of being a destination, and what this Fairfield Arts and Convention Center and the Stephen Sondheim Center for the Performing Arts provides for Fairfield, Jefferson County, and southeast Iowa. Many great things have happened with the university and the community working together, so we're very appreciative of that effort.
So we're standing in the atrium lobby. It's a 2-story or more area with our offices up above. The tile floor is by Creative Edge, a local company that does marble and granite cutting. And again, we have the offices, and we also open up into a business expo hall with the walls that open up clear to another portion of the building, and we will go in that. Shall we go over there?
Let's take a walk.
Okay. While we're doing this, we're walking down the Fairfield Art Association, which is my home away from home. In here, it has classes and a small sales gallery. We have John Preston in there right now teaching a watercolor class. We have local artists that can sell their works. And here is the expo hall. We'll come in here. This is a large area, multi-purpose area. When we designed the building, we tried to keep it as multifunctional as possible. We have everything in here from auctions to dances to weddings, a little bit of everything. And this is the Fairfield Manufacturers Expo Hall.
When this was designed, Bob, the large door on the far west side is big enough to bring in semi-trailers, tractors, combines for the ag expos, what we hope to have, but also to allow the movement of people in and out when you have an indoor-outdoor type presentation. But as Susan said, there have been some theater in the round. There'll be a banquet dinner here for our Fairfield Entrepreneurs Association on Thursday night, and we'll probably have 100, 150 people seated for a sit-down type meal. So it's multifunctional. The high school has held their prom here a couple different times, and with a generous donation, we now have acoustic tile on the ceiling and around, and it's now can be used at many different type of venues at this location.
Now, between this room and the atrium lobby are two large meeting rooms, and the sliding walls will open up from this room to the meeting rooms and into the atrium lobby and clear to the other side of the building. So it is a huge space. When events can be held, you can just spread out from one end to the other.
Probably some of the biggest events, we have a biennial quilt show every 2 years, and they use the entire open facility. They also have a gem and mineral show where all the walls are removed, and everyone has plenty of space for their setup, their tables and displays.
Okay. And this is the room that is in between the larger rooms. It can be broke down into two smaller rooms, and it is used quite often for meetings and business events.
Many times receptions are held here. We had a donor recognition evening, a reception, and we filled this. All the round tables were in use, and we had a very nice presentation. And then all of the local donors were invited to see a beautiful performance in the Stephen Sondheim Theater.
We're in a hallway, and this is our corridor gallery, and it houses the Fairfield Art Association permanent exhibit. And I say this because I got online today and I wanted to know a little bit more about you, and it said that you collected art in your life, and so that's very important to me. And this is our permanent collection, and this is a painting you're looking at now that the artist, when the Pope came to Iowa, the state selected him to give a gift from the state of Iowa to him. The artist was Art Benoit. We also, behind me, which probably you can't see on camera very well, but it is a Lazansky print, one of the world famous printmakers ever, and he's from Iowa City, and we're lucky to have two of his works in the etchings.
The other thing I'd like to share with you, Bob, while you're looking at the artwork, is that Fairfield continues to get a very high level of national recognition. In fact, it wasn't more than just a few weeks ago that Oprah Winfrey flew in on her jet to Fairfield and did a videotaping, which will be shown on her own network, or OWN, Oprah Winfrey Network, after the first of the year. She visited the community, the meditating in the domes. There was photos in the Fairfield Ledger, visiting with students, and also spent some time in the downtown area having coffee and chatting with people in town. So she is bringing a great passion to what we are doing here in the community, and national exposure will continue to be seen coming from Fairfield.
So Oprah did fly here in one of her large-size aircrafts, jets, and I believe it's one of the largest that had landed at our airport. And I know that you fly, so we would love to have you fly and come to Fairfield and visit us.
A 5,000-foot runway just waiting for you, so the invitation and the red carpet is ready. Please come visit.
And we are sincere about that. Okay, we're in our state-of-the-art kitchen. We have everything that you could possibly need for a banquet, ovens, freezer, walk-in freezer and walk-in cooler, dishwasher, everything for the prep that you would need. It's very handy. It probably was a little bit more than we should have bit off at the beginning, but we're glad it's here and it will be used a lot. We're in the green room, and this is a special room for the Arts and Convention Center because it's named after Bob Tree. Bob Tree from Parsons was a wonderful supporter from the very beginning of this project, and he continues to be so.
Bob was hired actually the same day, right before Millard Roberts was hired, and has been in Fairfield ever since. Been a great supporter with his contributions. Our Parsons funding has been in excess of $200,000, Parsons-related contributions to building the center. So he comes on once, twice a week, and he's very active and vital in the community, and is, I'm going to say early 80s. He never tells me, and I'll never ask, but he's still very much involved and walks on a daily basis. We're very fortunate to have him involved in the Fairfield Arts and Convention Center.
And what you're seeing is the wall. Everyone that comes here and performs, from the very opening when we had, oh my goodness, Len Carreyrou, and a grand opening with Richard Kind. Everyone that comes here gets to sign the wall. I hope we don't run out of space. I think we will. But here's Stephen Covey, from speakers to musicians. Everyone's been here, and they come in and sign it and leave their mark.
Jack Canfield, Chicken Soup for the Soul, was here for a presentation. We've had just a wonderful variety for youth. We had the fellow that does Mark Twain, and we've had, I guess we have a couple other, Clifford the Red Dog coming through, but we also have a Broadway presentation of the Christmas Carol that will be here this coming weekend.
Second City, you name it, we seem to get it. We've been very, very fortunate. We seem to be even busier than we envisioned when we had the stream. It's a good thing. We are now in the Stephen Sondheim Theater.
Stephen Sondheim, as you may be aware, wrote West Side Story, Into the Woods, a variety of presentations. This is only the second facility that he has gifted his name. The other was in the West End District of London, and since the Sondheim Center in Fairfield opened, a third in New York has been received. His name has been gifted. We feel very privileged. Mr. Sondheim has never been in Fairfield, but because of strong ties, when he was teaching at the University at Redlands in California, one of his graduate students is here in town and was instrumental in the original concept and communication with Mr. Sondheim. So we feel very blessed, and we feel this adds an additional level of texture and richness to our facility.
We have a 522-seat theater, a dance floor, orchestra pit, great seats throughout the house, great lighting, flats, everything.
When we opened and had the folks from New York and Broadway and the different Broadway touring companies that have been here said that over half of the theaters in New York where they perform are not as quality as this. So we're in the upper half of what they would perform in when they're in New York City. So we feel very, very blessed to have that. We had, once again, very generous donors locally. A softly used Steinway piano grand piano has been acquired and is used in a variety of presentations, as well as the bar height organ, which is on I'll call it an umbilical cord now. It's portable, it's on rollers, they can move it out to center stage, as you see when you review the other video, and then the pipes that Richard has shown you are all in place, and the sound is rich, and Doug Billings, one of your colleagues that was inducted in October, said he was doing very well through the entire Wall of Honor ceremony, but when they rolled out the organ and the pipes filled with air, he started to well up inside because he remembers so well being in Bar Height Chapel and listening to that organ. So we have perpetuated, and as Lee Gobble says, there will always be a Parsons College.
We have up above, to our left and our right, the pipes that were meticulously taken apart one by one from the smallest to the largest and stored in tissue paper for 10 years. And then John Connett carefully took them apart, carried them by himself, and I said he's 75 years old now, carried them up between these two walls, up in there, and installed them all by himself. It wouldn't have happened without him, and we're very grateful for that. But We're keeping a part of Parsons alive, and between the pipe organ and our window in the Parsons Hall, we're doing a good job of memorializing this for Fairfield community and the rest of the world.
We just feel very blessed that Fairfield has reached out and said, yes, we want you to be a part of this, and the traffic that comes through and people that admire what is in the Alumni Hall and see all three classes, including your class of 2011, on our Wall of Honor. We hope that John Blackstock, John Braidwood, and myself can continue on for at least another 10 years of putting this Wall of Honor together, because so many people richly deserve recognition, and we're just so glad that you were one that was nominated and selected and installed.
Thank you, Bob, for all that you've done with your life and all that you've done for the rest of the world. Reading that article today, I couldn't help but say, wow, and I wanted to say thank you.
Peace be with you, Bob. Thank you so much.
We're in the portion of the building that is named after Parsons College, the Parsons College Alumni Hall.
This was a vision that we had when the building was first being constructed. There were a number of different things that we wanted to display. There's also a major museum on the third floor of the old Carnegie Library downtown that we have an entire room pretty much dedicated to Parsons. We have 2 display cases that we can secure, and right now we have a Christmas theme with some greens and other displays. A recent display that we found in going through the yearbooks that there were a number of performers who made it to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and you may have seen this in an e-news, but I'll run them real quickly. With Gladys Knight and the Pips, Chuck Berry, we had Neil Diamond. In fact, he was just inducted this past year. Bo Diddley, Gene Pitney, and Louis Armstrong appeared 2 or 3 times. So we had a very nice display, and now we're just leaving the photos and the detail up for people to realize the quality of entertainment that you and I and the rest of the students had a chance to experience while we were here at Parsons College.
Yes, I was just thinking that you probably attended a few of these concerts yourself.
I'm sure you did. The field house was full, and they had people from all around Southeast Iowa that would come, but it was just off the charts and didn't realize where these people were going with their careers.
Another important part of this building that made a big impact on our design plans and what we wanted to incorporate, and that was when the Barhite Chapel was torn down in 2000. We actually, as an organization, went to them and we salvaged and saved all of the components that we could, from the stained glass window to the pipe organ to stones to pews, light fixtures, plaques from the Barhite Chapel. And then we took them to our architect, and he designed them into our building.
We have been very fortunate. We have a nationally renowned company called Bovard Studios here in Fairfield. They have done pieces in St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York, in California, the Air Force Academy, and just a variety of fixing or building brand new stained glass windows. And one of the pieces that we have that Susan just described is a large angel window that I think was just picked up on the video for you. Pieces of this include Tiffany glass, and we hope to have this completed as our crowning glory for the Alumni Hall and the Arts and Convention Center. We feel that this may be something of interest. Your associate Betsy said that you might like to help with something, and so we'd like to extend an invitation to you, Bob, to give consideration to help us finish this project. We already have received a foundation grant of $29,000 from Windows of the Soul, and that's part of the Bovard organization, over $9,000 from the Greater Jefferson County Foundation, and individual donations are coming in at this time. And so we're looking at $35,000 to $50,000 to complete this, and also the I won't call them skylights, but the lights, the higher windows of this facility would have stained glass windows in there also. So this is something, and there'll be a flyer included for you to review that we would sure appreciate. And at a donor recognition level, we would provide some additional naming rights for this window on your behalf. So this is something we would like for you to give consideration to. The second piece is the Barhite organ, and we will show that to you in a little bit, or at least get you inside the Sondheim Center. This was taken out before the building was decommissioned of Barhite Chapel. A local gentleman, John Connett, has given of his time and talent and devoted over, 10,000 hours or more of his time.
At least, and he's 75 years old, and he's worked on this nonstop for years.
And so at this point, he wanted to complete the project, so he dug into his own pocket, and we're still about $10,000 or more indebted to John that we'd like to repay him. One of the Phi Sigma Epsilon brothers felt strongly about this, and from Geneva, Illinois, he wrote, "My grandfather was an organ master, and I'd like to present a check to help offset the cost that Mr. Connett has had for this organ restoration." On the video that you will receive also, with the dedication of the 2011 Wall of Honor, you will see the Barhite organ in action, and so that will be on a separate video than what you're watching right now. So these are opportunities that we would like to extend to you, Bob. Some naming rights, donor wall will be in place and be completed, and we would like to give you recognition with your support for either or both helping with the restoration of the Barhite organ and the Barhite window, an angel window that you saw in the video just a moment or so ago. So we would appreciate any consideration you could give, and we'd be happy to send additional documentation upon request.
So we've been touring the building, and again, looking at your profile today online, I noticed how passionate you were about all the things and the growth that you've seen in yourself, in your life, and I can't help but relate that to myself in this building and Fairfield and everything that has been going on and the change and growth here. We had stumbling blocks, like when we announced our fundraising. It happened to be 9/11, and we shared the news with 9/11. We also had to go through an archaeological dig that seemed to take forever, and that took a lot of time and cost us money, not only time, and right when that happened, Katrina happened, and all of the materials skyrocketed. So for this facility, we went through numerous redesigns, numerous fundraisers, and we're still looking for someone to start our endowment fund, and we still, look for operations. Even though the city now owns our building, we have to raise, $300,000 a year.
Yes.
And we have a great community, and they've been doing it, and so, but I'm afraid I don't know how long they will do it. Eventually, we're going to need an endowment.
And that's our plan. There has been an endowment in discussion ever since before the ground was broken. We had a lady in town who was very close to building that initial deposit to get us started, and because of some of the delays, her focus changed, and that escaped us. So we are still at the point where we have a committee for the endowment, and that's one of the next projects that we're working on.
So we are a strong community, and we have built this center, and we are using it to the max. We're passionate about this project, and we know it's going to succeed. We would love to have you come here. I don't know where you were yourself when you were here at Parsons and you graduated, but maybe you'd like to come back and see the change and everything that's still here or else not here, and enjoy what is here.
The invitation is open to you, Bob. We will send whatever other details you need, but hopefully this video gives you an idea and an example of what has been combined with the university efforts and the Fairfield efforts together. And as Susan says, there's 2 or 3 events or more per week. Sometimes there's double booking. Sometimes there's an event in the business pavilion as well as the Sondheim Theater. So it's the hub of the community. We've received some statewide awards. Fairfield is a great place, and because of that, large grants have come in for renovation around the squares, sidewalk renovation, and other updates. But it's an art community. First Friday Art Walk October of 2012, we'll be celebrating 10 years of consecutive First Fridays of every month. There is some type of an art walk going on. Some are full festivals that have been all things Italian, which has spun off and grown into its own. I co-chair the Oktoberfest, where we have 2,500 or more people in the downtown area with polka dancing. We're lederhosen and beer gardens and brats, and it's a great place to be, and we sure appreciate your consideration. Thank you so much, Bob.
Fairfield, I have to throw this in, has wonderful trails around the whole county. It is a great place to be healthy. We have lots of green initiatives in Fairfield, lots of groups.
Sustainability, windmills. We have north of the campus, we have an eco-village. It's totally off the grid. They generate their own wind energy, solar, filter their water, and they don't need any extra help. And so sustainability is the word, and a lot of students come to participate in the master's program at Maharishi University in sustainability.